Start of the second quarter here in Los Angeles. Seattle the last 3 weeks, 42-0. They've outscored.
4-by-1 set. Seattle's got all 4 receivers here to the top of the screen.
Low throw, diving attempt by Zach Charbonnet, and the running backs got it for a first down. Seen a few good catches.
I mean, that ball was about 6 inches off the ground, and let's see that it looked live like he caught it.
UCLA Bruin with a big one right there to keep this drive going. From the 45 out of the eye. Now anybody in the NFL has 4.
Yeah, when you look at this Seattle run game, they're very different backs. Kenneth Walker takes some negative runs, but he's kind of the home run guy. He's the slasher, force missed tackles. He's going to try to get 6.
Down where he's tackled by Cam Curl. Now the Seahawks last year, the defense much better as the season went on. Look, they nailed it. John Schneider nailed it by bringing in Mike McDonald last season, but then they had to nail the offensive coordinator. Pull it all together with Sam Darnold, and they've gone from down near the bottom in a lot of categories to top 5 in the NFL. Better than blown up by Nate Landman, leading tackler for the Rams, who came here on a minimum contract after
tackler. He's one of the best in the league. You know, see these guys, the peanut punch. You hear it every week on every broadcast. But his underrated signing between the draft, some really strategic free agent signing.
2nd and 9. Darnold under pressure, got rid of it, incomplete. Flags fly though as he was looking for the over there. One of them's guilty.
Traffic over there. Arroyo and Jackson Smith and Jigba, they're trying to just run a little bit of an interference
use of the hands to the face, automatic first down.
So they do get Forbes and an automatic first down for the Seahawks.
So see that right hand grabs his face mask on Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's trying to run interference. So
on 1st and 10, this is where Darnold has been at his best this year. Off play action, everything deep's taken away. Checks.
Thank you so much, Joe. Brock Purdy, no rust here for him. Throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the first half. This one to Christian.
Pretty amazing what those 49ers have done. All the injuries that they've suffered, trying to get to 7-4 today. Place in the NFC West. Straight drop, quick throw, tight end again. Barner with a first down to the New York Jets. A few tough years there. Goes to Carolina. Struggled there as well. He said developed some bad habits. Led to the first year with the Seahawks. End around coming here with a flag down in the hands of the speedster Shaheed. Flags for Shaheed, who they got in a trade from New Orleans. One of the fastest guys in the league.
Offsides. I think next time they're going to get the Rams. They always talk about you want to make first touch.
So it's 1st and 5 after the penalty. Darnold the play fake. Darnold throws on the run. Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, what I really like about the plan here early on is coming in, they had to get Darnold into a rhythm throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down. But if you notice, Chris Shula, this Rams defense, some space underneath. He just has to be patient.
George Rolani's into the game for the first time today. He had his breakout game last week. Everybody has done, and that is say, we're going to play 1980s football. We're going to show the abs, you know, get the neck rolls, and we're going to...
The little improvement in stopping the run by putting one additional big body on the field. These top play nickel, play light boxes, and try to control this run game with your front.
Darnold throwing the fade. Smith in.
Right, the simplest question you have to ask is, then why hasn't everybody played the Seattle Seahawks in that style? I personally think there's a little bit of ego. I think for the longest time you hear coaches and players bang the question your physicality, and it's just not the way the modern game works. You don't want to give up explosive run.
Darnold well protected, but the coverage tight, buys time, lets it fly. Corner of the end zone and incomplete. Both to get there to apply the pressure, and they'll settle for a field goal attempt.
To kind of put a bow on the play style of the Rams and the system that they've built, when you are a bend but don't break, let the Rams defense, they're the 2nd best red zone team in the league. They force a lot of field goals. They are very hard to...
A little more of a manageable task right here. And a chip shot is through. The Seahawks back to within a touchdown. Midway through this second quarter. Bobber of a kick that lands shy of the landing zone. And so it's going to be placed. Rams go back on offense, and we go to the field. Here's Pam.
Yeah, Joe, to show some appreciation for Cooper Kupp's 8 years that he wasn't out here, I asked Kupp ahead of time about that idea. He genuinely seemed perplexed. His question to describe his feelings about it.
Wow. He said this week, mixed emotions coming back. He was excited to give some big hugs. Corum can't get away from big Byron Murphy, who's made that jump from year 1 to year 2 that you hope atop.
DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams, obviously the two veterans. But man, he is a really good young player on their league, and it sets the tone, both run and pass, for the style of play Mike McDonald wants out of this Seattle defense.
Corum stop and start, runs hard across the 40, gets back the yards they lost on first down, and it's 3rd and 9.
The Rams trying to go fast here between 2nd and 3rd down and not allow any substitution.
Lawrence flying around the edge after his monster game last week where he had 2 touchdowns. This guy's in his 12th.
You just mentioned it. They blitz at the lowest rate in the entire league, yet are able to pressure the quarterback. They typically get home.
So the Seahawks defense comes up with a stop. There's a flag down as Shaheed. And they've been used to, having not trailed in more than a month, having outscored opponents 69-14 in the first half.
Receiving team number 1. That penalty will be half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
After this break, Sam Darnold and the Seahawks go back on offense. The staple of this offense.
Area of significant improvement from this Rams defense from a year ago, and coming into today, big part of what they've done.
Toss to Charbonnet, right side. Charbonnet with a stiff arm, got around Williams. Buddy, but we also know that the bigger problem is that you're going to throw it over our heads. We're not letting that happen.
Exactly, because and the difference when teams play base against Seattle is about 1.5 yards or so on the ground. But these heavy personnel offenses.
Walker looking for a hole. He's got it. Kenneth Walker into the secondary.
Think back to what we said a little bit earlier, right? It's the explosive run game that is really the true measure despite playing these little people. So now, if Seattle can continue to generate explosives and continue to get big yards that truly matter to Chris Shula.
And that is the first explosive run that his defense has given up today. Brunt got pushed out of bounds a gain of 2. Walker in his first season in the NFL, right around 1,000 yards, did it again in his. When he's right, he can be that explosive threat.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's always a lot of ways to evaluate run game. You know, everyone guys miss. So it's a cumulative effort. Tell you who we haven't talked about enough, though. Graves Abel, the left guard. He's about as good as a young lineman we've seen in years.
Here's the fade. Looking downfield for Smith and Jigba, who plucked it with.
Right on cue. There's the first deep ball connection of the game against Darius Williams coming into today's game, and they finally cracked.
27 right there. Back to Walker on the ground. Downfield throws, both Sam Darnold throwing them and Jackson Smith and Jigba catching them. Over 20 slot, didn't necessarily think of him as a downfield big play threat. Chris Shula was saying, yeah, and then he Rams, still his career best game. 2nd and 8, keep it on the ground. Smith and Jigba's already within 200 yards of the full record. Granted, one more game than Calvin Johnson had when he set the record, but just to give you some perspective on the season, this guy's
target share. I mean, no receiver is relied more heavily in the passing game.
The middle has A.J. Barner, who's having himself a big first half. The 4th catch for the Seattle tight end, and it goes.
He's just going to come wide open, but he's just got to get this ball out fast. Those inside guys are landmen open against that zone coverage, and if you're a half tick late, it's either going to be a pick or you're going to get your guy knocked out.
Olani behind dudes. George Olani gets thrown down by Josiah Stewart. Olani practice, and so they put him in there last week. 7 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. For the undrafted second LA, they had the ball. Seattle goes down, scores, gets a stop, and now a chance to get right back. On 2nd and 7, Charbonnet. That run defense, 5'11", 310. He's a stud.
Oh, he is. I'll tell you, if he was 6'1", he is an absolute ball player. He's just short, but I'll tell you what, it does not limit his ability inside.
In this battle at the top of the NFC West, really the battle of the top of the NFL, Sean McVay's team.
I think if I'm Seattle, I'm thinking I got 4 downs.
And they do hand it off. It's Charbonnet down more than ever. Seattle only 6 fourth-down attempts, the fewest in the league.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming alone. All 14 points of Los Angeles have come because of the willingness of Sean McVay to go for it on 4.
6 for 6 when he does this year. Going to be close to making it 7. Into Mike McDonald's head this spring. He said, I think this guy could be our tush-push guy.
I mean, again, of course, we talk about the tush-push mostly with the Philadelphia Eagles, but if you have a guy, and it doesn't have to be your quarterback. Again, that's a huge conversion, of course, because Seattle wants a touchdown, but you also don't want to give Matthew Steen
Rookie of the Year defensively. Is built on that in year 2, and he stopped Charbonnet at the line of scrimmage here. Under 30. They'll use it now. 24 seconds. A little chippy there. Jared Goal coming up. We'll be right back after these messages.
Level up with Slices, game's ideal, dear.
Get slices and sticks in Call of Duty in-game rewards. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Lowe's nosed.
4 kinds of ice, actually.
Gonna need a bigger bucket. Like this one?
Do you always have 2 bucket chains?
In the end zone for the first time in this game.
Yeah, worth mentioning, they got 2 timeouts.
Fake to Shaheed. Darnold throws on the move. Smith and Jigba tackle right away by Durant.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're saying if we don't get it here on 3rd down, we still can stop the clock one more time. They're just playing the time under no circumstance. They're trying to avoid having to even do a kickoff, let alone let Stafford touch the ball.
Just make
I mean, they're 2 of the more impressive guys to just talk to. Their leadership. Everyone talks about the X's and the O's. End of game situations at length.
It's 3rd and goal from inside the 5. Darnold pressured. Darnold throws out of bounds. Or are you going for it?
You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you'd go for it.
But again, you don't have the idea of, you don't like refusal to kick kickoffs thing. It's less about the points and more about where you give your opponent the ball on the ensuing. I think from the 3, I'm actually on board here with kicking this field goal.
Wow, words I never thought I would hear. The offense has been overall this year as eye-poppingly good as they've been in the first half. They have not scored a touchdown.